Hi, this is Faridun.
Hi, Paridan. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very good.
All right. First of all, congratulations for I think it's a huge success. But more importantly, I think your performance, the way you've the hard work is really coming into its own. Um, what is your first response to the sort of massive response that you've got, both in terms of box office as well as in terms of the subject of the film?
I think I'm just immensely happy with the way the whole project came together, the way this whole shooting of the project was. So much fun, the kind of work, the kind of team we had, Ali's vision that he had for the film, all the days we spent together on shoot was just such a positive time and a lot of, everyone just felt, I think I just felt very, very satisfied being at work. The response to the film has been amazing. When I saw the film, people were asking me what you thought, and I said, I just feel that it's a really good film, and I feel that I'm completely satisfied and happy with the way it turned out. And I think it was an experience. It was an experience for everyone to see. It was a film worth going into the cinema and seeing. And I think Ali really lived up to the expectations of the audience, and the Tiger series, you could say, or the second part to the Tiger series, and I gave a grander, bigger film and a very different visual as well. I think the character he gave, the fact, the newness of it, of a
Right.
heroine like this, and my track was so different. It was not what you would have expected,
Absolutely.
and a woman who can hold her own, a woman who comes to save the hero, and just the kind of action that that she had being an agent, I think was something which was really wonderful to see.
Absolutely. And we've seen the making of the action sequences, and it's very apparent that the sort of, because you've done action in the past as well, but I think the sort of
Mm-hmm.
action, the way it is in Tiger Zinda is on an altogether different level altogether, and it's like at par with Salman Khan in many cases, and you're pulling up a lot of surprises as well. How important were the action sequences for you? And people don't realize the sort of hard work that goes into something like this. But if you can share the experiences.
See, it's an action film, and in an action film, I really felt that I think first of all, Ali's vision was very clear in the kind of action he wanted. Then
Yeah.
he had the best team possible you could get coming down from all over the world for the different sequences, whether it was the gun training or whether it was the weapons training or whether it
Right.
was the physical action, what you call the more choreographed action.
Correct.
He had different teams for each sequence. Now, with those teams, the amount of work you put into the rehearsals is up to you. Ali's not going to chase me. Nobody's going to chase me down or say, you do it, you do it. That's up to you. And I think everyone's conscientious and everyone works hard. But I think with me, with the physical, when it comes to something which is dance or action or physically based, I really do put in extra hours. I do put in extra time in that, and I have the physical representation in front of me of how it should look. So
Right.
I just go for that. I aim to get as close to the representation in front of me as I can. And it is a lot of hours, and it's hard on your body, to be honest. It's not. I won't lie and say it's easy to just throw yourself around a room for 4 hours in a day. It's hard. You go home, 18 and
Absolutely.
it's tired.
Right.
I knew Ali's vision, and I knew Adi and Ali were going to support this film and give it that kind of mounting, and everything I did was going to be amplified and highlighted.
Right. And when we see them making the action sequence, apart from the guns factor, the hand to hand combat sequences which are coming across, especially where the legs are involved, and as
Mm-hmm.
you said, the choreography part of it, I think it's very crucial.
Mm-hmm.
So when something of that sort is coming across, to make it as fluid as possible, especially on screen, um, you know, people say so many things about the amount of hard work that you put in terms of the
Mm-hmm.
number of hours, be it your dancing, be it your
Mm-hmm.
these action sequences. Salman Khan, I think he rarely praises anyone the way he praises your hard work.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it for you to make it look as fluid as possible?
See, the fluidity and ease in anything physical will only come with practice. Either
Jay,
you are a natural expert or you are a trained expert if
Jay,
you put in those hours, or then you are training just for that cinematic moment, which is what we do, right? Because I'm not really a MMA fighter or martial arts person.
Jay.
So that training, I know I have to work even harder because I'm putting I'm trying to look like a person whose job is that and who's an expert in this. So that fluidity is very important. It's very, very important for you for it to look believable. And honestly, that only comes with rehearsals. That will only come with rehearsals and doing repetition, doing it again and doing it again.
Right, and you worked with Salman Khan several times, but and you were part in Ek Tha Tiger as well.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the sort
Ekta
of
Tiger's our last film. It's funny because Ekta Tiger's our last film together, and the next film we've done together is Ekta Tiger sequel.
Tiger
And
Zinda Hai, right?
it's funny. I don't know. And not funny to me. Just kind of I don't know. It's interesting. It's just if there was another film in between or something, it would have been funny. But our last film was a film like Ekta Tiger, which was really wonderful and a really loved film.
Right.
And then the next film we've done together 5 years later is a sequel. So I don't know. I find it very interesting. It's interesting how life comes around and what it brings you, and I think that the way people reacted to us was really wonderful because it's the same reaction we got in Ekta Tiger, which is that love that we got as an on-screen couple,
Absolutely.
working together, and that same love was there this time, and for me that was wonderful.
Absolutely. And one thing which comes across is, as a viewer, I'm saying entirely that
Mm-hmm.
somewhere that mutual respect that you guys share,
Mm-hmm.
and that understanding, that maturity, the way it is just
Mm-hmm.
coming across as well, so that it makes the chemistry that much more real
Mm-hmm.
and really engaging in many ways. Many would say that I think this is the best film that you guys have done together as far as like
Mm-hmm.
a romantic pair is concerned as well, and it has a lot of sparks flying, but in a very different manner,
Mm-hmm.
something which is like mature at the same time. It has
Yes.
a lot of heart attached to it, especially the climax
Yeah.
when we come to it. Do you feel that?
Yeah, completely. I think Ali is a very smart director. Honestly, he's very sharp. He knows exactly what he's trying to do. He knows the audience's history in terms of where they've seen me and Salman last together. He knows how he was very clear how he thought he wanted Zoya and Tiger's relationship to evolve in this film. It wasn't just like anything he wanted to put up there, anything to put romance together. He was clear he wanted to have a certain evolution in their maturity in their relationship, which is why you had the song like Dil Diya Galan. You had that slightly gentle, more grander scale in terms of the love song, and then where you needed to bring in the care and the emotion of like two people who really care for each other. He brought that in, like you said, the scene where I'm tied up, where once Zoya's been kind of
Right.
taken hostage, and then which goes on to the end of the film where Tiger comes to is trying to free her. You
Right.
can see in those moments, that these are two people that's what you wanted to see. You wanted to see the depths of their love for there, and it's certain kind of familiarity of two people who've also been married that long. So I think it was really, really smartly and beautifully done.
Then Salman Khan painted that beautiful picture of yours, and I think that has become like I think a big talking point in many ways as well. And I think it looks beautiful in the song as well.
Yeah, it
Um,
does. It was a very gentle song, and I think Ali wanted it to be that way, and it was nice. It was very beautiful.
right. And then you're having Swag Se Swagat Hai.
Yes.
Somehow you have these tent pole songs that have been associated with you, and I think it just comes across as far as you are concerned. And the song is a huge, I think, attraction in many ways. People just look forward to watching it at the end of it. And once again,
It's
anyone who's seen you
you
rehearse, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if anyone has seen you rehearse like the way we have done, like say in the Dream Team tour, they wouldn't realize it. But just getting that fluidity in the dance steps, the amount of effort that goes, especially you put into it, it's something else. So uh, do you feel that people just see like a 5 minute song, but the amount of work that goes into it, there's a lot more to it than people I think will
I
get
don't
to know
know. It's
anyway.
a good question. I don't know whether people know the amount of work that it goes into it, but I don't do it for people to see or to acknowledge the amount of work that I put into it. I I do it because that's what I want to do. If I'm doing a song or if I'm doing anything, we all want it to be as good as we possibly can, right? And if the producer and if the director has given me that opportunity or that space to perform, be it in whatever manner of performance, whether it's an action scene or whatever it is, it's it's up to you as an artist to get that creative satisfaction and put in that best sting and hope that you're able to hit higher marks every time. That should not be the result should not be your goal. To me, the process is what's important. Is my process correct to the song? My process
Mm.
is correct to learn and work from the best choreographers and the best people and the best directors. Then the outcome will be good. I mean, it's more often than not will be good. It will be what you desire if you put in the work properly.
Absolutely. Now, you know, the core theme in many ways of the film, I think, is very, very crucial. But I really wouldn't want to, just dissect certain aspects of it because these days, the way
Mhm.
things are, things
Mhm.
become just blown out of proportion and they become
Mhm.
controversial unnecessarily. So I wouldn't really
Mhm.
go into certain aspects as far as your character is concerned. But I would
Mhm.
just want to ask you one thing that I
Mhm.
personally feel that Ali Abbas Zafar, I think he has a fantastic worldview,
Mhm.
the way he looks at it in terms of world peace and how
Mhm.
um, I think the common aim should be to just we have a humanitarian approach towards people and in general and life in general.
Yes.
How crucial do you feel is that worldview in just connecting it to people all across the world? In fact,
I know.
I saw it in Vancouver actually, and
Yes.
I just was the way people reacted to it was something else actually. You know, they were
Mhm.
literally whistling, and
Mhm.
it was very touching the way they responded once the
Wow.
movie was over.
No, I think that Ali, it was very, very important to Ali that this film have a message, and I know that the message that he wanted was exactly that. You know,
Ji.
for there to be more peace in the world, and for there to be more harmony in the world,
Right.
and that I think he wove it into a very, very commercial blockbuster, film in a
Mm.
very, very credible way. And I think that's the strength of the film. The backbone of the film is the credibility of the story and the way
Right.
he's woven everything together in a storyline. The message is beautiful, but it's not in a preachy way.
Exactly.
It's an entertaining, mounted, entertaining scale, but something that you can still get into and say, okay, I get what he's saying with the film, and that's the most important thing. I think Ali's grasp at screenplay and storytelling has really just evolved tremendously, and it's very nice for me to see coming from doing my first film with him.
Absolutely. Now, in fact, Ali told me that you guys shot in very difficult circumstances in terms of it was extremely the temperature was 50 degrees centigrade. That is one other aspect that people don't get to understand. But he was telling me that it was like everyone was sweating and it was not easy to do action in those sequences. Even to stand was not many a
Oh,
times
it was
easy as well.
Abu Dhabi was incredibly hot. It was incredibly hot. But if you actually see in the film, we've actually kept that. Like I just kept it that way. And there's certain scenes where my hair looks a little scrunched, wet look because you were just sweating from head to toe. And so
Right.
we just said, no, this is real. It's realism. If you were in, wherever we were in the film, meant to be in this kind of area and this part of the world doing action, you're going to be hot, you're going to be sweaty, and let's just go with the flow and not worry about it. There's nothing you could do. You would just sweat. You were just drenched from head to toe. This is what it
Right.
was.
Right. And I think it's very apparent that there's a sequel waiting to happen as far as the Tiger series is concerned.
Well, I think Tiger is a great series, and it's a, it's just they've just been.
And you're having a very, very, I think, interesting lineup as far as the movies are concerned. You're having Zero. The promo has just come in, and apparently it was named after you earlier. That's what one of the
Yes.
interviews you mentioned that. So what exactly is that story all about?
Well, I think that at that time it was a different film. Every film sometimes has interesting journeys, and it goes from one to the other, and has a long process. So at that point, that was a different film. Obviously, the film which is being made now is now called Zero, and the
Right.
character I'd say is it's a very kind of like a satirical take on an actress. So it's very interesting. It's a very dramatic character, and I mean Ananda is just wonderful to work with, and he's
Absolutely.
just an amazing director to add to your performance and to explain to your performance and break it down and allow you to really. That's wonderful. I'm having a great time with that. Right now we're shooting for start shoot for Tug, so that's also something completely different, and so just good to be working in these spaces with people who I really like.
Right, and in fact, Amir Khan told me that in Thugs of Hindostan, you're having a couple of songs, like two songs, like big songs that you're part of in the film. Out of three songs, you're part of the two songs, and that's extremely exciting, and that's like a huge film in its own way as well.
Oh, see, it's a huge film, and as with Adi and Aamir, they never like to speak too much. I mean, I think they like to speak about things in the time when they're ready. So I kind of just let them, unfold the information as per their plans. But I'm really happy working again with Victor and Aamir after Dhoom 3.
Right.
It's the same team for me, and I love them both, and they're just incredible people to work with. And again, really interesting team going to trying to do something different, which we've never kind of done before, and fun but hard work.
Absolutely. Finally, you are it's just been announced that you'll be part of Dabang Reloaded in US and Canada next year, this year itself,
Yeah.
in June, July. So excited for that because you know that the sort of response that you got in Dream Team, everyone absolutely love your performance, and this time around it will be Salman Khan. So obviously it becomes like really huge.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I mean, it's not very common for people to go kind of, it was last year we went Dream Team, or was it the year before?
2016, yeah. So technically it's like 1.5 years.
So 1.5 years, yeah.
Yeah,
So I know I'm really happy to go back. It's a fun team, and I know everyone, of course, and me and Salman have lots of songs together.
absolutely.
And I mean, I love performing on stage. It's great, and people in the responses we got from people in the US was just so wonderful, and it's always lovely to interact with people like that, with the audiences there.
Right, absolutely. All right. Thank you very much, Katrina. Lovely talking to you. And
No problem.
I must also tell you that I really liked Jagga Jasoos. No matter what, but I really thought that it was a very good performance as well, and
Well,
it was a really good film. So, and your performance
yeah,
was very nice in that
it
as well.
was, we tried, and I think Dada had a vision, which just, yeah. Sometimes you have to just try, and sometimes you get it right, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Absolutely. Thank you so much, and looking forward to a lot of hangama from you in the near future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Baba.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thanks a lot.